We all tune into the gospel at different times, on different frequencies. But there is one signal that changes everything. The one that turns the old man into something new.
For God has not his Son into the world to condemn the
This is Faith Frequency. Hi, welcome back to another episode. This is Faith Frequency. I'm your host, Naomi Mogere. And today we have a visitor.
Let's go.
Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys. Hi guys. What do you want me to say? Just my name?
Anything you want us to know?
Okay. Yeah. Hi guys. My name is Annabelle Nyambura. My friends call me Nyambu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saved and I love Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Hallelujah, glory.
Amen.
And I like the color white. Yeah. I do.
What's your favorite color?
No, I just like the color. You said I say anything random.
It's
yes,
my favorite
I did.
color.
Oh, babe. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, and I'm really happy to be here. Yeah. Oh yeah, I said I'd declare my undying love for Naomi. So guys, I really do love Naomi.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love you, babes.
So, to kind of icebreaker.
May I love you?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Oh, thanks now, yeah.
So much.
I do too. Oh, babe, stop. Okay.
So you have some icebreaker questions here.
Okay.
And I'll give you the career to start.
The career, you're so coded. I love it.
Pick the first one.
I wanted to go. Oh. It's not that deep. Do you find Christianity fashionable? I do actually. I love a good. I think. Yeah, I think it's very open-ended. Christianity, fashion. Are we talking about fashion clothes, or are we talking about Christianity as a whole?
Do you feel comfortable, like, just as in
identifying as a Christian?
Yes.
Okay, that was like an outfit thing. I was like, oh, babe, okay. I think so, because actually remembering the conversation we were having coming and how these days Christianity is a whole aesthetic.
Yeah.
So people are very open with identifying as Christians these days. I feel like it's not those times for Kina Paul where they would be stoned for claiming to be Christians. I know there are parts of the world that are like that, but say in Kenya today, like to people it's just like, hey, I'm Christian. Like, okay, bet you get unfortunately. But so do I think I really don't know I don't know if I should say it's fashionable or not fashionable, but yeah.
Should I answer?
You should give it a go.
I think identifying, to some point it's easy, but it's not something I would say like I identify as like I'm a Christian, like nitakwambia, you get, because now it makes you have a standard. You form a standard in your head about how I should act. So yeah, but I don't find it hard to tell you, like maybe to like tell you about God.
Then I think the problem isn't necessarily Christianity itself, but what society has made it to be. Because if even Christians, just as Christians, and how we judge each other and whatever, would make people be scared of identifying as Christians. Yet it really should be like a love thing, you know. Mercy. Yeah, okay. Mercy.
Okay. Do you usually whatever cringe when an individual in a workplace is overly religious?
Is that to me, or we answer it?
I think we can both do it. Yeah.
Do you want to start?
Religious. Generally, I do. I do find it cringe. But unajua kuna overly religious when it's put as an act, like for me to see, oh yeah, you are actually sawa tumeona, you know,
umeokoka.
pole. Yeah, so I don't mind it. It's like, oh, okay, sawa. But yeah.
I think over the years I've come to a place of to each their own. Because if that's what they know as their walk with God, who am I to now be like, hey?
Yeah.
But does it make me feel some type of way? Yes, if it now starts being projected onto other people.
Yeah.
And I think we do it a lot of the time without even realizing we do. That it's something I'm also, like what your walk with God is onto other people. And that's what I'm saying. I think it's something we do very subconsciously, even without knowing. So I'd be valid to cringe.
What if it's just a spirit moving you to, you know? Like, see,
no, I think the context with this would be like someone is like maybe projecting their own religious
like a number
beliefs.
before every hour, before a Kali laptop every hour.
That's okay. You see, that's a them thing. But what if I don't wanna pray maybe 4 times before I open my laptop?
Okay.
So if they start looking at me badly for that, I'd have a problem with that. Because what if I'm okay with my one?
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, for the day.
Okay.
Bless my work, you know. So I think the part that made me cringe is like, where's you come even on a shine, you shine like that. But yeah, don't project it. But that's what I'm saying. I think we do it more often than we realize we do. All of us actually silently, but we do it a lot.
Is an instance you've done
that? I like to call myself out very quickly.
Okay.
I like to call myself out very quickly, but being human, I do it. I also think it's something that's input in us without knowing that this is the tried and true. This is what is set on stone. Okay. So when you see someone else not doing that, it's just like how the Pharisees were with Jesus. Like they had a tried and true that they knew this is the standard. This is what gets you to heaven. Yeah. Then here comes Jesus and he's saying all these things and it's like, what are you doing? What are you saying? You see? So I think when we meet situations or circumstances that are different to what we know or what we believe, automatically it's like, But my bad. Yeah.
What you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, we need day for Jehovah.
Ay. Boy. Right. So how do you navigate pressure to conform? Did you answer the previous question? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you navigate pressure to conform in a non-Christian setup, say such as a team building, where members might indulge in not so Christian values?
Oh, nimi namba.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Pressure. I don't know if I face peer pressure a lot because to some point I have some don't care attitude. Like I just don't care. Since I just don't care.
Yeah.
Especially if let's use this example. Team building and members might indulge, let's say they're drinking.
Yeah.
If I see that, I would not put myself in a position where I can be tempted. So I will just maybe like some distance away, maybe with other friends, chatting and whatnot. Then when we're having activities together, then that's fine. But I see and I just turn. You know how people says run away. Yeah, flee. I do that. But sometimes I do get some form of peer pressure when it's not physical. Like let's say it's online and it could be like what kind of peer pressure can come online? Like to get a certain kind of clothes or something that's trending. Sometimes I do fall like to that just because I don't need it, I just want it.
Your context is so adorable. I love it.
I just want it. And I don't know if I want it because I want it, or I want it because I want people to know, to see I want it. That I do. Sometimes I do fall. Yeah.
I get where they're coming from. I feel like that's what religion does.
Yeah.
But I've known Christ too much. You ever had the saying where it's like, people say like, I don't have enough to believe. I've seen too much to not. It's foolish of me
You're too much to act the
believe
way you're acting, yeah.
that. And it's also that, and like hata si hivyo mainly, but more of like I've seen too much of Christ to think this was someone's agenda. I think it was a God agenda that was just being executed by human beings who manipulated it in their own way to fit their personal agendas.
Sure.
Yeah, but and somewhere along the way, the greater good, either way, Christianity found us. Unfortunate as it was that it was someone who maybe the Europeans wanted to colonize us, and they were preaching, give us all your things, share with your neighbor, the individualism and all that. Like, yes, maybe they had a hidden thing, but I want to believe somewhere, some way, the Spirit of God was planting his seeds. And look at us years later. Like, imagine if we were still living in no hate to like traditional African society, but like imagine if really that's like the just one, like we have to go to Mount Kenya to pray facing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, and all that. But look at how freeing it is to have the Holy Spirit in you, and just how loving, and like this is a relationship we're in. There's nothing controlling.
Yeah.
I feel like people who say that need to experience Jesus more, and once you experience Jesus more, you understand how this has nothing to do with someone's agenda. This is deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's more beautiful than that. It's very man, you bestie too. Like, you get, you know what we're saying? Like, you just want someone to love on him. You get, like, it's not that, like, vile nyi meipaint ikae kama kuna agenda, but I feel like that's what religion does, though.
Yeah.
It really does fix you to some constraint of you are under us, and we are more. That's something I don't like personally. I appreciate. I feel like I'm going. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Go there.
Yeah. I value leadership when it comes to Christian setups. I really do, but not when it comes to now making it seem other people seem less of Christians in the name of hierarchy. Jesus came to abolish the hierarchies and the veils that, the veil that was torn, that a priest had to go in on my behalf. So I don't like how sometimes as Christians these days we make it look like we have to go through someone to get to Jesus when he's so freely given. And that's the control part I don't like. Christianity is so free.
Yeah.
It really is so like, guys, niburi, like, you get. So those two religion things that tells you have to go to someone in and again, I'm not throwing shade on anyone's belief. I don't want to get cancelled, but then like what I stand on, it's like, no guys, like he really did make it so free for us to experience him, and that's the truth. Yeah. Do you want to answer that?
You haven't answered the question.
I didn't.
How do you confront these people? How do you tell them what you said? You've answered like about what you think about.
Oh no, I answered. I said they need to experience Jesus on a more personal. Them? I don't know if I've experienced someone who calls Christianity an opium for masses. The control thing, yes, like people who says like it was someone's agenda to control. And I'm saying I think religion does serve that agenda, because look at how governments use Christianity and religious offices and all that a lot. So yeah, still don't know if I've answered the question, but that's my 2 cents. 50 shillings.
Genuinely, I don't know what to say.
Girl.
I would agree with what you said. But I don't think at any point I've ever felt controlled. So I don't think you should feel controlled. I'm talking to you in the eyes. I'm sorry. I don't think you should feel controlled. If you're feeling control, I promise you that is not good.
Thank you. Pretty much, yeah. Like there's a problem there. It's not a dictatorship. It really is a relationship. Or at least I'm trying to skip. No, it's not bad. Okay. Zimeshadi.
Yeah.
5. Have you ever done a horrible mistake and you felt like God was too holy to approach?
Cyril.
Shout out to Cyril.
Do you understand?
Girl, I feel like I'm Ebu you yap as well. Ebu also you yap kidogo.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. And So why it strikes me because it's very recent and nataka story.
Let's go.
Okay, let me try and put it together. So we had gone for this town thing. What was it called? Siri? The thing in town with New Life.
Street ministry.
Yeah, street ministry that day. And it was a very, very nice like session and everything. So like it was outside, there was a choir convalescing, and it was so good, maybe too good. So we gave like people our seats, and then with my friend tukaenda tukasimama hapo nyuma, and now we're just listening to the music and whatnot. And I had this wave of, should I even be here?
Babe.
But from the point of this is too good for me to experience, I think I have so many patches of that should not experience God's presence to this degree, yes. So I told my friend that she just took me aside and we prayed, and ili tulia tu, and then tukaenda like street music and everything. So that kind of feeling, yes, I have had it before. With God, with feeling God is too holy to approach. Yes, I don't know why I would get that feeling. Don't kind of compare. Sometimes I think I know God a little bit too well to be acting the way I'm acting. But yes, I got over it and we're good now. So have you?
I wanna see. Mwenye najibu the wrong question. Acha nisome swali. Feeling like God was too holy to approach. I don't think it's that God was too holy to approach, but I was too filthy to approach. Not even, I don't think filthy is the word. Like I was too sinful, or I was too unworthy to approach, until I had someone say that whole, why are we trying to perfect ourselves for a God that wants to perfect us? You see, and you don't perfect things.
My roommate used to tell me, we're imperfect people for a perfect God.
Deep. Yeah.
God bless her.
God bless. Yeah. So yeah, until like I learned that thing, and I like to tell it to people, like, find God where you are.
Yeah.
Let him meet you where you are. Stop wanting to do, because I know so many people who are either not going to church or fellowshipping or reading the word or praying or just having like a relationship with God, because again, religion has taught them that you need to come in perfect. You need to do A, B, C, and D, and that's what perfects you. And then from there, now you can do a walk with God.
Yeah.
Yet I've had people's testimonies where they'd come from the club and go to church reeking of alcohol, or they'd go to church high, or they'd go to church and then go to someone else's. You get things like those, and eventually they get there because it's a walk they chose to walk with God. It wasn't necessarily come holy. So if we were holy, if we could do this on our own,
then what would be the need of God?
Yeah, why did Jesus come to die then? His death was in vain then.
Yeah.
He didn't need to come. But God knew we could never have, from the Israelites, bless their trial. I feel like the Israelites were like our trial and error. and God for like just saw them and was like, you know what, kuna vile human beings. I wanted independent people, and these ones are too independent. They can't do this work as perfect as I'd want to. So he sends a perfect human being, now Jesus, to show us this was the perfect work, and because of me, I'll take up your imperfections, and you are now perfected. Automatically in a way. So I did have those feelings, but that knowledge is very important, because it roots you in a way into who Christ is for you and what he did.
How did you get out of that feeling? How did you get yourself out of that feeling?
It wasn't easy. It's never easy, because it's but you know, we can come here and yap and we make it look all cutesy. But you don't talk about the spiritual warfare. Sorry, the spiritual warfare behind trying to pray and you can't pray. Trying to read the word and it looks like a book. It looks what are these pages? Like, what's happening? Sometimes it goes like really, really. it can be a very dark hole.
That's for sure.
And the devil prides on it very, very well. And now the voices come. Hata unakumbuka pale ingine, like achana mambo ya maombi hata si lazima, you get. So yeah, I can't pinpoint one thing, because I have found myself in a lot of those situations, a lot of times feeling like you hear you're called, you feel called, but am I worthy to be called? But then remember what they say, he doesn't call the qualified, he
There's a song like
qualifies.
that Mugusu sang in church.
Oh yeah. He doesn't call the qualified,
He
he qualifies
called.
the called. Yeah, and that makes it better. Yeah.
The last one.
Hizo maswali haziishi.
Ya mwisho sasa. Do you journal, pray, vent, or go silent when life feels confusing?
Do you want to start this
Memaliza
time?
vizuri.
You start.
I started last time.
I talked last. You start.
Okay. I think you're the one supposed to read this, but it's okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to tell the masses? Do you want to explain? Sorry.
So, for a fact is I'll go silent unless you reach out. Now that you've experienced that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Yes, I do go silent. I don't know. I don't want to say I want to deal with I think I mentioned it in the other podcast. I don't want to carry you with my problems.
Oh, sweetheart.
But I would just prefer to shut
yourself out.
I'll probably delete my socials and just ingia huko ndani. Now when I ingia huko ndani is where the prayer happens and all that. And then about journaling, I don't know. I've been trying to get back to journaling. I used to journal in high school. Kwanza form 4-ish.
Form 4 inabidi
inapacheka kila mtu tu nini yake ya cope. That's how you literally learn it's okay. You learn your coping mechanisms and whatnot. But I'm trying to go back to journaling even when I'm not having a hard time. Even like it's a good day, yeah. Then venting, yes, I vent. I vent to the right people. So yeah.
Next question. Okay. Do I journal, pray, vent, or go silent when life feels confusing? I feel like we've been in this season the past few.
Yeah. At the same time.
Who's supposed to help who? Guys, we thank God. God. Will you conquer?
I'm glad we're out.
We really, yeah. We're in the bundus. Yeah. How did I navigate my bundus? One, me, I'm a talker. I love to talk.
Yeah.
I express myself through talking. So, I mean, obviously to the right people.
Yeah.
Thank God for you. I really do thank God for you. Yeah, so I don't know, ni funny. But yeah, let's not laugh at our bundus. So I vent. I can see vent here. I definitely vent. Over the years, I had to learn venting is not to you don't need to vent to everyone. The people who hear you vent and they're like, "Sasa unaniambia juu."
Yeah.
Just like the worst.
I know.
But yeah, venting is there for a plus. But then I remember in this specific season, I remember God told me not to vent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally ended up in the situation I was in because of having a lot of voices that to the point where I couldn't tell which one was God's, which one was me, and who was like it's like kuna so many people talking, mera sijui nani anaongea like anymore. So I had to take a step back, silence all the voices, and then listen to that still small voice. Yeah. Yes, and I found it in that quiet place. So as an extrovert and someone who's around yappy people and who loves to yap, it was very hard to realize I was there to a point where siski, like it's like my default setting is, I need this. Let me ask you, let me tell you, like, but it's not the going back to my secret place and where me and Jesus are, and it's like, what do you think? It's always Naomi, acha nikwambie, and that can get very very
Yeah,
quickly.
that's true.
So the confusion came from venting. So this was when I was a little bit quieter. But I did share with, I remember I shared with you because it again, it became, hey. Go silent. This was forced silence. If I'm being honest, me, I don't like going. I don't.
Shut up.
Yeah. And then praying. Yeah. No, actually.
Tell me about
Listen, I was not praying. Do you know I clocked I'm not praying? I went to a therapy session 1.
Oh, really?
Yes,
You've not been
because
thinking of therapy?
no, do therapy. You know why I went to therapy? I needed a neutral external voice that is not my friends, that is not the people that somehow got me into where I was or whatever, or you. Like, I just needed a neutral voice, someone who doesn't know me, who has no perception of me. And I started my session by saying, you know, me and Jesus are besties and I love Jesus. And then I went, and then he asked me, he looked at me, had my problems, and then he said, bless his heart wherever he is. Have you prayed?
Oh, wow.
I've never had that, especially in our space. Like, have you prayed?
Yeah.
And I was silenced. I felt silenced.
Love that.
And then he goes, because you started by saying you and Jesus
Our besties.
are besties, but you've not told me anything about talking to Jesus about whatever is going on, and him tell
That's
you.
so good.
Yeah, and him tell you, do this, that, or that.
Yeah.
And I just kept quiet the rest of the session. And I said, okay, fine. And he gave me homework and he told me, go, because of the whole voices saying, go sit alone, pray. I don't even think he's Christian, but he said, remember you and Jesus are besties, pray.
Talk to him.
And then ask him what he thinks.
Yeah.
And then you come tell me.
Yeah.
And the minute I did that,
Me too.
out of the bundus.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and another one that silenced me. My friends can be funny. Shout out to my friend. I went to tell my friend now, another friend. I told you I'm a venter, and I was telling them, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm going through. And they asked me, when was the last time you read your Bible?
Oh.
I said, genuinely, it's been a minute. It had been a minute because, again, I was in the bundus and everything was confusing and I wasn't running to Jesus. So even my reading the word had gone down. I was just like, praying the same. Because the way you're explaining your problems, you sound like you don't read the Bible. And I said, okay, fine.
That's actually fun.
No, it's funny.
And I feel like you're acting
like you don't know God.
You don't know
God. Why you acting like you
Direct.
don't? It really was exactly that. And so this pray part, like I think it should be our default setting, because I don't even think God feels happy when trouble comes our way and we can't run to our own father.
Yeah.
We can't run to our own friend. It's like he's like, I'm here, but we are running. Acha nile unaenda sio wewe, and then you come back to someone else and they don't give you a solution, and then you go and tell them nani wanani frustrate. It's like because you didn't.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like you didn't come to me. Unaenda kwa kila mtu kuja kuniambia kuna jam.
Na Mr.
Ambiana na Mr. Fanya, like I'll give you the solution. So I think out of all this, praying, and then the last one, journaling. Yeah, someone got me a book to journal, and it's really cute to not journal. So now I'm forcing myself to journal, but it's been really good to read.
Funny.
To read, it's really.
It's
such a beautiful book. I'll show you.
Okay.
Do I have it here? No, I don't have it here. But it's been really good. Okay, that was my bad why, but going in, it's been really nice seeing my thoughts then and now, even if it's like a few days apart, I can see growth.
Yeah.
I can see like, oh, I'm not dealing with that anymore. Yeah, like this is so beautiful of me to have thought. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Tumeanza topic ya leo.
We're done. We're done with the questions, so we can get into the topic. Sugarcane juice sponsored by Fridge.
Let's go. Fridge.
Should we cheers? Do you want to cheers?
I was gonna ask and then I didn't want to make it bad. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, I chose with the mic.
So cute. Okay.
Let's go.
Acha kuniangalia chani kunywa. Davini. Sponsored by Davini. Thank you, Davini.
Davin.
Oh, I know Davin. Davin, you make really good juice.
Yeah, the sugar cane is it. The sugar cane just is, it's
bursting.
giving.
In
This is my
case you're
second
wondering why we are
glass.
sweet, there you go.
Girl.
Okay. So I think we can get into the topic today.
Yeah.
It's when God feels silent. Okay. So I would want to ask you if you've ever felt like God is silent. Yeah.
Last week.
Oh, child.
No.
Fun fact, I would have said the same thing.
Is it? Okay, yeah, then I'm not sure to say it. No. It was in this again still season I'm halfway out of or whatever. It felt like he was silent.
Yeah.
Because I found myself confused and I was like, why am I confused? And I have a God of clarity.
Yeah.
But from my therapy session, like I've just said, it feels like that question was leading us to this.
Real. God is so strategic.
He really is.
Mm-hmm.
AKA the producer.
Real.
He felt silent, but I don't think he was silent. He was right there all along, spoke, but I was too focused on my problems to clock what he was saying. And I didn't even ask him for help. And I feel bad for that because he really was open to helping.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him for help. I was trying to navigate it on my own. So he felt silent, not because he was, but because I wasn't even hearing him, leave alone listening. I wasn't even hearing him. It took him nudging me to some let's call him a random person, literally, for me to figure out that he was actually
there
the whole time with the solution, with the, give me your burdens and I'll make them lighter.
Yeah. Did that affect your faith? The silence before he revealed that, girl, I'm just here. Did it affect your faith?
In a way, because I was feeling like we're saying, I'm in the bundus.
Yeah.
There's a way when life is not perfect, yes, but you and God are somewhere, life feels so jolly.
That's true.
The skies are blue, the sun is shining, like things are aligning, even when everything is really, really bad. But in that moment when things are not all sunny and rainbow, it's very, like everything else becomes so dark. And it gets to a place where now it's like, are you there? Are you there? Are you even there?
There's a movie that's like the girl is like, I think it's Rachel. Then she's like, Rachel's gone. I don't know if you know it. I'll say it to you on TikTok.
I don't, but
I'm watching movies on TikTok. For real.
Like a whole season on TikTok.
Uko part 236.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
but 236.
Unajipata part 417.
No, 236 apana, but maybe 1 to 5. Yeah, maybe up to 5. And then I actually look for the movie and watch it. Yeah,
me too.
You asked me what if I felt like my
faith.
faith. Yeah, of course it did. But it affected my faith juu ni mashida za kujitakia. In that moment, it just still feels like mashida za kujitakia because faith was enough for me to trust that God will get me out.
That's true.
Sorry, so it's like the situation lowered my faith, the confusion, but not necessarily because I couldn't hear God. But I did feel alone. It's like I was navigating it alone and he wasn't there. We get the why later, but it felt like he wasn't there and I felt abandoned a little. Because also in that moment, it felt like whatever I had as a tried and true, or my foundation was a little shaky. And I was like, is everything a lie? So you started asking yourself, is everything a lie? What am I doing here?
Am I actually real?
What am I doing here?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
So aside from faith, that's spiritually. What about your mental health? Was that?
Did I cry the day I was talking to you?
I gave you some tissues. It's okay.
You're like my sister. Any emotion is like, you can cry. You can cry. It's okay.
I have a lot of tissue.
Mentally, it became a lot. I'm a person that likes structure. I like when things are guided, when things are not set in stone. I'm also very adaptable, but I like knowing A is A, B, and B, and C is C, because that's what I now build the rest of the alphabet on.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it felt like my ABCs were not real.
ABC.
They were shaky. They were uncertain. My foundation was very shaky. Not my foundation in God, but in that moment, whatever I knew was like my sword. Like, this I know, I'm not like this I know. Was like, it's like God was showing me, like, you really don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean I don't know? It's been years of knowing. You can't start randomly telling me.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he was undoing a lot of things in the process. I've come to see in that very short or long period, and it took shaking the foundation to show me that there's a foundation I've built, but there's what he's building, and his foundation for me would have to mean me undoing mine and allowing him to build his. Now that, because it was my, like, again, being my tried and true and my this is what I know, became a lot. So obviously mentally I felt very stressed, very confused, feeling like I'm supposed to be just a girl, but here I'm like, I thought mwaka tuko kwa strongest soldiers list, and all of a sudden he come in your captain. Like, that's what it was feeling in that moment. So of course it was a lot
Captain
mentally.
is crazy.
I'm not a captain. I'm not, thanks.
You don't want to be
I
the
don't want to
captain?
be. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. I would relate that we were in that season almost the same time.
How was it for you?
It was heavy. Quite heavy. And it came so unexpectedly, because it came after yours, after you talked about yours. So I was like, by the time you were like, we're talking about yours,
You're
I was okay.
You really were okay.
I was giving advice, and then here I am. I'm like, I should have used that advice. I probably needed it as well. But damn, it was a heavy moment. I won't lie. It's a sijui venye nitaieleza, but ilikuwa inaenda hivi, and I could see it going that way. Not that I couldn't do anything. I could, but I just didn't want to as well. I was also feeling very tired. So I don't know how that can look like in your mind, how you can understand what that looks like seeing something becoming and not wanting to do something about it, but you know you should.
I hear you.
Yeah. So now, getting out of that dark spot, I saw the hand of God, literally.
Hey.
I literally, because I was like, but then I can't see you, I can't hear you, I can't career, And when I was at the lowest moment, I was like, God, please just send somebody.
Welp. SOS.
Guess who called? Annabelle. Oh God, you're so strategic.
No, me, I was, but that's, like I was telling, I was telling you how I know it was good.
Yeah.
Me, I was not calling Naomi to check on her.
Imagine.
I was calling Naomi for the most wild reason. Me nilikuwa hata kumtuma, which
Literally.
I don't even do.
And it was early in the morning, so I had been, you call it at around 7 something. Yeah. I had been in this dark state since like 5.
5?
Yeah.
5 is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad. So I'm just asking God, like, send someone to actually remove me here, because ninashindwa. Like, nashindwa to actually, even physically, move. You get?
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah. And then Annabelle calls from nowhere. And then niko hivi. Nimepanguza machozi. I'm like, hello. And she's like, Naomi, lazima niangalilie. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, Naomi,
are you okay?
I was like, Atusiende, it's okay.
And she was like, Atusiende, let me just sort something, then I'm calling you. And then she called and she prayed. She prayed over me. And now that you're here, I'll just tell you. during that prayer, she kept on saying, God, remind me, Naomi, that you love her. Remind her that she's your sweetheart and you care for her. And that kept on breaking me. But not breaking me in a bad way, but in a like, maybe he actually loves me. Maybe he actually cares. Yeah, so that kind of damn.
And I think even in that moment of praying, now from my POV, me, I was in no position to pray.
Yeah.
Maybe certainly go out of the I would know. But I feel like that was really just the Holy Spirit loving on you.
Yeah.
Because then even for a prayer, like just a simple prayer like that to have impact, it means he knew what you needed.
That's for sure. And he knew the right person to deliver it.
And I wouldn't have known what to pray.
Yeah.
You get.
I didn't tell you anything.
You did?
I just asked you, can we just pray? You know. So.
No, you told me you want to pray. Like
really?
You told me you want to pray.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, let me pray for you. Like now, before you go,
okay,
pray. But I like that, even at least for you, which I like, even in that moment, you are choosing to go to God.
Okay, so nienda. I was unable to get myself off the ground. Yeah. So even in a physical state, I was like, I just knew who to reach out to genuinely. So you, God, you do. But then it to me too.
But I also felt very helpless because we live in the same building. So in my head, I was like, I would want to just come down and see if you're okay. But I was really far.
Yeah.
And that day I could not have have come and be like, hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
So as from a friend POV, that felt like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. Niliwambia napenda Naomi, guys, by the way. Like, I'll fight you guys.
Do you know? No, actually, let me just say this, because I think about it till date. There's a day that we had not seen each other for the whole weekend. And I had hosted my friends. And I asked you if you want tea in the morning. And then you came. And then I wept. Jesus wept.
I remember.
I was so
confused. See, I took me in my head. I don't think I don't think any of my friends have seen me and cry. Really? Especially when I was with them on Friday. Like it was literally 2 days later.
Friday monana, it's on Sunday morning.
I never experienced it. But I loved it. Like I feel like it made me. I very much appreciate when people put me where I've put them.
Oh yeah.
But naogopanga kuweka watu before wanionyeshe kwenye wameneka. So me after that was like, yeah, now we can get a chunk of space. Oh, okay. She can
That's
get some
actually
space.
Funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was so confused. I was like, hey. Mbona nalia dem number 1. I was like, kwani umeniguza aje that you are worthy of my tears?
What do you mean worthy? That's
like
crazy.
Why am I even crying in the first place? You just said hi.
Well.
Anyway,
yeah.
I have a question here.
Are you supposed to be answering these questions, or it's just
I can. If you want me to, I can.
Yeah, of course I want you to answer.
What's the question?
Oh, see the next one.
Do you believe God is ever truly silent, or is it that we don't always hear or understand him?
Both. I think there are times that God can be silent, but not but probably I feel like God's silence comes from one, can be very unique circumstances. 1 or 2, when maybe he's given an instruction already. Remember me, girl, bye.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. When maybe he's already given an instruction, we didn't do it, and now we're asking him for another. So he feels silent, but it's like I already give.
Oh yeah.
Like do that first and then come for part B. You get. Mbona nataka kufanya part B kauja jibu A.
Yeah.
You get. So I think that's an instant where God can feel silent when maybe he's not. There are times where God needs us to maybe apply what we've learned so far. And in that process, he can be silent to see if you're growing. But he's never far. He's always there as like a cushion, like just in case things like get worse to worse.
Yeah.
Like maybe your exhibit when he sends me to call you, that's like a contingency plan. But the plan was like, can Naomi navigate this on her own, for example? Let me sit here and see this. But I'm loving enough to make sure that if she can't, there's a way.
Yeah.
You get. So I think that's another instance to look at it from. But him knowing him, his character as a loving father, then technically if there's a contingency, then he's never silent. Sometimes I think it's also we're looking for answers, specific answers, and when they come in a different way, we don't recognize them.
That's
So
true.
he's speaking,
Yeah.
he's doing, but we're not seeing it, and we're not recognizing it. So we think he's silent, we think he's not talking, and he really is. Like me, I want him to bring me like water, and he brings me juice. So me, I'm there like waiting for him to walk out of the kitchen with water, and he's like, girl, like it's right here. And I'm like, no, Margie, yeah. So I think I've tried to answer that question in loopholes or whatever.
Yeah, but it makes sense. I do get that. You think it has a spiritual purpose behind it, behind his silence?
Do you think he can be like the way I'm looking at you like right now, it's like a parent is like, I will decide, niambie. Where decide will like type of vibe. What do you think? Oh, you ask me what do I think?
If there's a spiritual purpose behind
Spiritual, of course. I think it grows us, like the bundus we were in. You are better than you were before in terms of your spiritual muscle and your spiritual maturity, because now you recognize that not all difficult situations are God forsaking. I don't even think any is God forsaking you.
Yeah.
Not all difficult situations that God has gone silent on you. Like for me, it was I wasn't talking to God.
Yeah.
So I know to talk to God. I'm going to talk to him about this sugarcane juice. Right now, you can't catch me not talking about talking to God, because I've seen what it can do. And that way, I've spiritually, become better. And life will always be spiritual. Then it manifests like physically, like becomes now in the physical. So regardless of what it is, it'll start there and it'll come. So of course, it has spiritual implications. Yeah. What do you think?
I think the same thing.
Girl, let me talk to me.
I genuinely think that yes, for sure. For sure it has a purpose now because I've seen it work. It definitely has an end goal. It's just that we can't not measure, but we can't tell when that tick is going to be put that yes, now that silence has accomplished its purpose. You get? Sometimes it can just be like, and I repeat, God can be like, Naomi, you know this. Why are you not?
Why are you acting like
why
you
are
don't
you
know?
acting like you don't know?
Yeah.
Then in that his silence, it can make you either sit down and actually meditate and be like, oh, I should have, So you can think for yourself as well. I mean, God gave you a brain, use it,
Yeah.
Nimekuwa mkali leo. But yeah, there's that. And like for me, before you called, with this question, it's leading to what were you longing for in that time, in that.
Kwa mnataka kututrigger?
Nimesema mtuweke service.
No.
What
Silly.
what are you longing for in that slow moment? Either it's a waiting season and it's silent, or it could be anything. Yeah, what are you longing for? Should I go first? Should I give you time to breathe?
No, it is well.
Okay.
I remember in one of those days, I found myself just sat in my house, and I've never longed for a physical God.
Oh yeah.
I've never longed as that day. I just needed something I could see. God forgive me. Like I acknowledge His presence.
Yeah.
That day I needed someone I can just grab like this and say, you know what?
Nikumoto.
Yeah, Nikumoto. I just because even I longed for a physical hug from God. I longed for a physical conversation. I'm just being honest,
Yes.
Yeah. And I know he's within me.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge he was there in the bundles with me. He really was. This was before I acknowledged him being there. And again, I was feeling so alone and all that. And I would have loved him to come and be like, my daughter Annabelle.
Do you know, I was telling my friend, the way we normally ask, I dislike it so much, the way we normally ask that God comes hapo, the day he will appear, walk up on your knees praying.
Usketu.
Hey, uskiti.
Say biduki.
Achana God, an angel.
Angels, the description of Revelation is not what the movie says. So
I know,
no.
actually 2 weeks, they have eyes all over. I understand why they say do not be afraid.
I feel like God gives us what we can handle. If God knows you can't handle a cherubim, he will not send a cherubim.
I would think about Mary. She was somewhat probably our age.
I get her so much by the like I don't blame her.
What do you mean? I'm going to be pregnant?
Remember neno kwa mwanaume wangu nini like nena kwa mimi niko na mimba ya malaika like
so ngemwambia pia yeye ni believe, you know.
But they did
That's
eventually
crazy.
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really did long for physical affirmation, which maybe I've not been to therapy before this in like 2 years, since 2023 mwanzo I think. So it has been more than 2 years, around 2 years. But that day all of a sudden I randomly felt the need to go, and I want to think someone giving me a perspective of it was also maybe God in his own way. Like I was saying, God might be speaking and we don't clock it.
Yeah.
So what if I would have been like, what does my therapist know about praying? No, me, I know what I'm saying. Nangoja God akuja, like I could have ignored it or just like clocked out of that whole thing. But anyway, let me not digress there. But in that moment, I really did just need God to come and tell me, Nyambu, this is what's happening. This is what you need to do. And this is the rap. But then again, I didn't ask. So I'm expecting him to give me an answer because sini God, tunajua I'm going through it. Like, what do you mean you want me to ask? Like,
oh, okay.
Like that's me in the moment. That was me in the moment. Like I don't need to ask. Like, can you send? You already see Nico in the bundles. I can't even bring myself to pray. So I just needed a hug from God.
Nyambu.
Tulisema tukwe comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. I love that. Thank you. Okay. Same.
Can we cut that part?
No. Mwache hiyo party. Same. Generally. Kwanza mimi nilikuwa in a dark place.
Yeah.
Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Literally, I was in my dark room.
Everything, was the whole shebang. Yeah.
I really wanted to not even a hug or anything, something physical. I just wanted to know he's actually listening to anionyeshe sign, and he did. So child, now let me just attach it to the next question, because how did that waiting season shape you? I cannot not now doubt God's presence. Like I know he's here and he's listening,
that.
you know.
I love that. Yeah.
Because I was telling my friend today in the morning, when you're at a very, very low place, or okay, let me use a different example, then I'll use this one.
Yeah.
When you're in a very, very cold place, like baridi, and then nikushike hivi na thermos, you'll be so sensitive to that heat that it will be so, like, it will so hard for you not to feel it. You get? So now, being in a very, very low and dark place, you seeing like a small light, there's the firefly, it will catch your attention so fast that you cannot ignore it.
You're sensitive to it. Okay.
So now it's the same place with this. There's no way I'm going to ask God in prayer that show me that you're actually here. Just send me someone, and someone randomly calls, and the perfect person to get me out of that career. You get
the bundles.
Yeah, you
It's
can
okay
raise
tusekelea. It's
animaliza.
okay. Umesha muda wa mlima.
Umenikubali.
Nimekubali. I'll
After
give
that
you a Kikuyu name.
place, yes please. So yeah, how did that
What-
thing
yeah.
shape you?
Yeesh. Part of it is what I was telling you. I was talking with my friend,
Yeah.
and when like the same person that was like, have you been reading your Bible? You don't sound like you've been reading your Bible. They were also telling me how a lot of things in our walk as Christians are complicated when it really is just beholding the love of God and loving on Him back. And part of loving Him is acknowledging Him enough to share, trusting Him enough to talk to Him in those deep moments, like a friendship of some sort. And that was what was missing for me in navigating this whole thing. And I love that because it really did expose a lot of gaps, and I would call them, let's call them gaps too, in my walk with Christ. You know, you can get to a comfort zone and you think everything is perfect until an earthquake comes and you know your foundation has cracks, right? That's the word I was looking for, cracks. And a lot of the cracks for me was I am a Christian. I am doing the tried and truths of being a Christian, but am I really loving on God? Because if I read the word and I don't love Him, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I mean really loving Him and not convincing myself that I love Him. Because I can convince myself that I love Jesus and I don't.
That's true.
Because then, do I love Him enough to do some things? Do I love Him enough to not do some things? You get, and I think that was a really big takeaway. And number 2 is, the need to be very mindful of what role other people play in my life, and what role God plays in my life, and that the role God plays should never be bigger. No, the role people play rather should never be bigger than that God plays. It should actually be me and God, full stop.
Yeah.
And then everyone else will follow suit. Everything else will come as an addition.
Yeah.
But I can't put people and God on the same level. That doesn't make sense. I also can't, my relationship with God can't also rely on other people. It shouldn't rely on other people. I should have built this intimacy with God enough for it to sustain itself, even when it's just me and Him.
Yeah.
You see? And I think a last one, which is not necessarily spiritual, is I need to learn how to sit with myself. You know how often I come to your place. Now, maybe I don't like being alone. Like, I'm so used to being with people. I just enjoy people's company.
Yeah.
But that can get to a point where you just don't want to be alone. Not because you're lonely. I'm not lonely. But then I just don't want to be alone.
Okay.
You get? And it looks like, am I okay?
No, you're okay, come on.
But this season, yeah, I'm okay. And at least you welcome me. That's why I think I can. Yeah, it's so hard. I say after this to make, like, you see, it's very hard to not stay away whenever.
But we also don't see each other as much during the week, so
yeah.
our weekends are ours.
Our weekends are ours. Yeah. So no. So I was saying, I'm very used to staying with people. So on a more personal level, I think this season taught me how to be alone. Because I had to be alone, instruction based, and no one could tell me what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
I was venting, but no one could tell me
what you need.
God told me what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
No one else could have. And in addition to that, part of the problem was the whole sharing with people, hence the confusion and the need to navigate it alone.
Yeah.
And so, like my therapist had said, I was forced to sit with Nyambu and God. We never sit me, Nyambu, and God. We always sit me, God, and Naomi. Naomi, and then God tells Naomi, and then Naomi tells me, I'm a me, I talk to God directly, which I wasn't even doing. And mainly now it just became me confused because no one can help me, but the people to help me, I can't sit with them. But when I did, and I had that self-reflecting moment, and I removed myself from the problem mentally, I just removed myself from the situation, and I was looking at it from an external POV, I got my solution. Because I stood with God, and we were looking in now, and we were searching, and we were trying to find where the problem is coming from, what's happening, why. And we found the why, but it took sitting. That was really one of the biggest lessons. Like, I needed to find how to stay. So jokes, but but yeah, that really was like a really big one for me.
I feel like nitakunywa juice. It's okay. I feel like woo, child.
Unakulia?
No.
Where are the
Not
tissues?
today.
Bring those tissues. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes God puts us into that solitude by force.
I didn't
So
like
that he
it.
can that he can actually talk to you, and sometimes I feel like it's a good thing to just have that one-on-one conversation,
Yeah.
no matter how much you really want to. What does Naomi have to say though? She's a human, and najua probably amekuwa na feeling before. Let me just hear what she has to say. But getting that direction from God, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. It may be lonely, solitude. Hey,
It's not. It's really good. Mic check, yeah. Especially when you're used to people. Mbona nilikuwa nimeacha microphone? Okay, sorry. Especially when you're used to people, like I was saying, and the community helps you navigate things, it can feel like punishment.
Yeah. Ooh.
You get it can feel like punishment, but then you grow more
Yeah.
from it, and then growth is not the cutest thing. Expansion can be painful.
That's true.
Mi kwanza church yetu tuko the year of growth, increase and expansion. No wonder.
Next one too.
No, I get it. To increase our capacity to hold. So
Yeah.
oh, that makes so much sense then. But God bless the church. Yeah.
So we're almost coming to an end.
Okay.
I would want to know what you would tell someone who's currently in that state, feeling
God is
silent or in solitude, or how they can cope with it, whether it's journaling, whether it's praying, whether it's venting, Yeah, you can tell. Or what you would tell your younger self who has been.
Don't get me there.
Okay.
Don't get me. The younger self who's been going through it. If I was maybe tell Nyambu from last week. Or Nyambu from last week, but one. I mean, hi there. You're okay.
Yeah. Finally.
You're doing great. Let me affirm you, you're doing great. Look at it as God making you become the best version of you. And that's never easy. It's not the easiest thing. It's very difficult. It's very hard, but it's worthwhile. And it might look so dark in that moment, but God really did assure and affirm us that He'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. So don't be like me and not ask God for help, because as much as you're going through solitude, you're not being separated from God. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. So allow God to minister to you in those moments, to just be there for you as a friend, a lover, a parent, a brother, a sister, whatever you need him to be in that moment. Allow him to be. I feel like it would have been easier to navigate those past few weeks had I navigated them with God, because I would have been much more assured that he's there. It will help to read the word. I'm on my word Zoom now.
Okay.
To read the word on verses that relate to what you're going through, but that affirm you that regardless of whatever is happening, he's present. And there are people who've, even in the Bible, maybe gone through similar situations and emerged victoriously or better. But allow him to love on you and give yourself grace. It's okay to be in that situation, but don't dwell on the problem more than the ability of God to get you out, or the ability of you to do better and be better. And always pick up on the lessons so that you don't complain or regret or mama and be like, "Sasa yan mambo gani? Forgive us." Mambo gani, no. Like looking at it from an unbiased that perspective and just saying, you know what, I get it. I get why I needed to go through that and I'm better for it. So I love you so much and you're doing great. Yeah. Whoever you are.
Love yangu nagawana huku nje.
Oh my God. I have a lot of love to give.
I'm a jealous now. My God is a jealous God.
What about you? Well, what would you tell someone? Like from now, your perspective of what you went through. We've not even gotten into details. Yeah. But even just from like a nutshell, what would you tell Naomi from that moment? Like if you were the person that called Naomi, or if you
I think I needed what I needed to hear, so I cannot say anything different because no, I think Naomi that time had what she had to hear because it did get me off of that cocoon.
So what would you tell someone? But if I would tell someone,
God listens. God listens always. Yani, there's no deep you can get. There's no like the deeper of the deep of the career in terms of whether it's sin or it's self-righteousness or it's pride.
You're calling everything out.
Yeah, I'm calling everything out. That God can't like call you out from and be like, Naomi. Unadu. I'm a Naomi. Don't do that. I'm a Naomi. You're doing a good thing. Now, acknowledging God's presence has come more clearer to me, and these are things I'm learning from the experiences, and I love that. I'm going through, or I've gone through what I've gone through. I don't regret it because I can see it forefront, you know, like Siski's story. I'm to me, really go through something, so it becomes so real to me, and you can glorify God even in that
pit moment.
Yeah, pit moment, such you can see Him clearly for yourself. You know, I'm not asking you now to ask God to go to a dark place that you can actually see Him.
I don't recommend it. Learn from people.
I recommend to drink water, but you can praise God. I'm sorry. In that need juice, Cinder.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like mercy.
In that moment, that you can see Him and be like, yeah, God, that was you. You can see His handprints in things, and you'll be like, yeah, yep. I'm on the right track. Na vitu zinaenda actually vizuri. They're going venye zilikuwa zinafaa ziende, you know. And also understanding that you can't take control of some things.
Yeah.
Unasema watu akisema letting go and letting God, it really is an actual thing, like letting Him take that control, because whatever way He'll choose is the right one.
Yeah.
Whether it's for you to stay there for 2 months, for 4 months, for 1 day, for 2 hours, it's His will, and His will is right.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's perfect.
Naomi, can we take a gloss break?
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, trust that He's there, acknowledge His presence. Something I've been doing is literally talking to Him as a friend, like, hey God, naenda shoot podcast, ama naenda shule, naenda class, naenda nini na nini. Please let this work according to your will. Let me see your hands working. And with that, you find the smallest things so beautiful. Like maybe to like kusema, okay, we're ending the class for the dinner. We're ending the class 40 minutes before time. Na hiyo time ulikuwa unataka kukimbia tao. when he goes, I feel like more
Favor
time
tu
for
inaanza
you.
sasa
I
kwa-
know.
yeah.
Actually, you can acknowledge God's favor more in that kind of manner. Because sometimes tunaziangalia kama sini class nisha mapema. That's good for us, you know.
It's also what we're doing today. Like we complain so much, we don't even clock the things we need to be thankful for that seem so obvious, but they really are not.
They really
Yeah,
are.
they really aren't. Yeah. Like
So thanking God, even but thanking God about the smallest things that I can sit on my bum, I can walk, you can see. Annabelle.
that's so random.
I know, but I was just thinking I can sit on your bum, or you can
put your gloss
see,
on.
you can put you have gloss.
I have sugarcane juice.
Yeah, exactly.
Really nice sugarcane juice.
You can't blend sugarcane juice. It's made in a
I don't
specific
know how
manner.
they do it. Yeah.
They like finger the things literally through something.
I've seen those machines and they're not very clean. I've never seen a clean one.
Same.
And that's very concerning.
I think because it's very sweet, so kuna manzi mingi.
No, not just
What
that.
you about like it's
the machine itself, not just like a metallic thing and then in a finywa.
Yeah.
And it just looks very unhygienic. In all couples, I've seen a couple and I've never seen a clean one.
Yeah.
But the juice is good.
It's really good.
So I don't know, Mia.
It's giving. It relates so much to this topic. You have to go through fire. You see how gold goes through fire so that it can shine.
So the sugar cane has to be.
Exactly.
Or you could say the process might not seem cute. The process might not be as beautiful.
But the result.
But the outcome.
Talk about it.
Crisp.
It's good. Yeah. So that's it for the podcast. I hope you enjoy it.
For the podcast,
For the episode, yani. I'm sorry, my mind. For the episode, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned. It just started.
Big.
Yeah. That's it. Remember to buy.
Okay, bye guys. Okay, bye guys. Thank you for having me. I really loved it. I loved it, and you're doing really well.
Thank you. I loved having you. I've been waiting for you to be in here. Do you want to come again?
Nangoja uniite.
Really? Kazi ingine sahi?
Let's go. Let's just change the sweaters and record another.
This was nice. I hope you also enjoyed. I hope you learned something, at least from our experiences. Maybe you might be in the same place. I hope you are finding ways, or you have found ways from this. What's that?
Not after the camera.
That I'm talking to. Who is that? That you can find ways either from this podcast or whatever. They can see you there.
Oh, okay.
You can look at that one. I know. Hey, utanimaliza. Angalia ile. Ama hii.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, I hope you have learned something from either this podcast or whatever you've had before, any advice. Please take it. Please understand that he cares and he listens. Stop looking at me. He cares and he listens. Yeah, that's it. See you on the next one. Bye.
Mwambiwa like na washare na
Oh my, yes.
Can you cook us a little?
Pole.
Yeah.
Like, share, and comment on this channel. We'll be posting every week, God willing. Woo. So, yeah. Andika comments. Tunataka kujua feedback. I'd want to know.
And what topics maybe they'd want to hear.
Yeah, and
more.
what? Yes, please. Please text me on my socials. Please andika kwa comments. Please. I promise you, this is my priority. I'll be checking and responding and all of those things. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh my, don't do that.
I am though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.